everyone. So this is a big color theory video. I had to screen record from Mitchell, so sometimes you're gonna see like some pop-ups. I hope that's not too annoying. There's only a few. I hope you enjoy this video. Please follow Mitchell from Rain and Pores. His link is gonna be in the description. I hope you enjoy it. I know it's a long video, but color theory is like really intense and we hardly even scratch the surface. So if you want more color theory, let us know in the comments and enjoy. Lori,
All right.
go ahead.
So, look, we're so organized. I've written up a little run sheet. So, we're going to talk about color theory today. So, this seems to be something that a lot of people struggle with, color theory and picking combinations and finding combinations that work for them. So, that is our goal today, to help you understand a little bit better and make it easier to pick colors, especially between this little piggy pigment line and your tube paints. So Lisa's going to be working with Amsterdam tube paints today. I've got a couple of Amsterdams and I've got a couple of Matisse paints because I don't have the whole Amsterdam line and they're not here in Australia just yet. They're coming. So we're going to go on with some color theory basics.
I want to start also by saying, before we get into the basics, I think it's important. Color theory is important. However, and what you'll see I'm going to do later is sometimes it is about just kind of like being intuitive about the colors rather than having the color down. So it's good to know the color theory and the science of it. And then once you have the science of it, then you can play and have more. But even knowing the science of it, if you're out of ideas, will really help you get some cool ideas if you're kind of struggling for some. Go ahead.
Yeah, and look, like everything, the color theory basics, they're pretty much guaranteed color combinations that will work. So they're tried and tested over the years. They're pleasing to the eye. So if you're ever struggling for a color combo, go to your basic color wheel and your basic color theory and just pick something from there and work from there. But just like all rules, they're made to be broken. And sometimes the color combinations that you don't think are going to work actually look the best. So, yeah, always feel free to have a play around with everything as always. And it's just a basic, it's a starting point. So once you've got the basics down pat, then you can go, right, let's have a play with it.
And also, sorry to interrupt, I find
Okay.
bloom colors are different than other colors. Do you know what I mean? Like, for instance, Dutch pores, you can have so many opaque colors and they look so nice and they look vibrant and don't get muddy. But if you pulled that same combination into a bloom, it wouldn't work because of the layering that has to be done.
Yes. Yes.
So bloom, that's like another added thing that kind of like messes with you.
Yes. So during this whole thing, while we're talking about color theory, we're trying to keep it so this is the first episode in hopefully a series
If you
where we're
guys
just
like it.
going over we're just going over basics, and then if you really like it and you want to see more, we'll obviously do more because there is so much that we can delve into with this, and especially with the pigments and the paints, but we'll try and keep it as easy to understand and follow as possible. And we'll always relate things to the paints and pigments. Now, the whole thing with color theory is that there are different applications, whether you're doing print or digital design or marketing, all sorts of things. While the same principle applies to everything, the basics change a little bit. So that's the first thing we're going to address. So let's start with. Yep,
I
we'll
was gonna
start
say
with
there's
what it.
two types of primary colors, and that's what
Yep.
gets everyone confused. There's
Yes.
the red, yellow, green, which what we think primary colors are,
Red,
and
yellow, blue.
then what did I say? Sorry,
Green.
blue. Yes, not green.
No.
And there's primary yellow, primary cyan, and primary magenta, which are the original primary colors. Basically, a primary color is a color you can't mix using two other colors. in a
Yes.
way.
Yes.
For
No
instance,
other
these two,
colors make that color.
what I read, and like Mitchell will say something else, but what I read is these are called additive colors. So in a light beam, all of these together will make white. And the
Yes.
red, blue, yellow are called subtractive colors. All put together, they'll make a dark. I don't know what that means. Mitchell, go ahead.
Okay, so um, when you are talking about light, right? Um, this is a whole nother topic. This goes like way beyond the scope of what we use in paint, but it is important to understand. So all color that we see is basically a reflection or a refraction of light. So the pigment that you see in blue paint, that particular chemical combination, that pigment, that compound absorbs all other forms of light but throws off blue. So everything that we see is absorbing light and throwing off a different color. So if you see blue, that is the color that is not being absorbed by the paint and it's being reflected back. Same with yellow, same with red. Uh, so we've all seen that thing where you pass light through a prism and it splits into a rainbow. That shows you that all light goes into white and comes out as rainbow colors at the other end. So likewise, if you put them all back, that's what should happen. And that is what happens with light. However, with paint, you've got to remember that you're working with a solid substance. So obviously, the more substance you put in there, the denser it's going to be. And if you're mixing colors, the light's not going to know what to do. So eventually, if you put all three colors together in your red, blue, and yellow spectrum, it's going to absorb all of the light and you're just going to get black. Whereas with cyan, magenta, yellow, you're not actually going to get a white paint. That's not how that works. So when you're talking about photography in light and color theory in photography and color theory in digital design and paint, they're different things. But it is useful to know that, all light comes from white and then it gets split up and passed out. Okay, so remember that when you're using your paints and your colors, and if you're mixing colors and you don't get a color that you expect, think about how the light is mixing in that color to give that secondary, I guess. Make sense? Am I making sense? Does anyone have any questions so far?
It is a lot, and that's why it's like
Yeah.
we could do like a whole boring hour. I mean, Mitchell could do a whole boring hours of it, but like
Not offended.
but it's good to have like a basic understanding of why there are like two different kinds. What does primary really mean, and then kind of go from
Yes.
there when you build your colors, and hopefully get some confidence to make your own colors, which I love to do.
Yeah. Exactly. So, all right, let's start off with what colors that we have and what is color theory. So, color theory describes the relationship between colors on the color wheel. So, I'm sure everyone would have seen one of these at some point in their life, especially if you're an artist. This is a color wheel. And I will say, this is the first time I've ever actually bought or used a color wheel. And even though I'm quite confident in picking colors and things, like understanding tone and shade and variation, all that sort of stuff, which we'll go over, I was really surprised at how handy this is. So on your color wheel, you have two sides. You've got this side and that one, and you can see they're a little bit different. So on one side, you have your color theory, and it tells you the definitions of colors. And then on the other side, you've got different levels of tone. So using this as my example, pure color, okay, the term for pure color is called hue. So HUE. That is pure undiluted color that's not mixed with anything else. Now, where are we? Saturation is varying levels of color intensity. So if we look are we on the right side? This side. Okay, so on this side, the colors are getting more intense with the pure shade at the top, and as they get closer towards white, they get less intense. Now, if I flip it around to the back, as you add black to this, it's going to get darker, but not more intense in color. Okay, so this is where things get really confusing because there are so many terms that influence your color. So hue, pure undiluted color. These are hue. Okay, paints, pigments, that is the hue. To desaturate or change the hue, so you can't. Sorry, let me backtrack. You can't change the hue of a paint, right? That this blue paint is always going to be this blue hue. What you can change is the saturation and the intensity. Okay, so adding white to a color will obviously make it lighter, but that is what we call value, right? So as you get closer towards white, you're adding value, and that's just a term that they use to describe how much light there is being reflected off a pigment. So colors with more light or closer to white have more value, and colors closer to black have less value. So summing all of this up so far, we have pure primary blue. This is the hue. If I wanted to increase the value of this paint, I would add titanium white, for example. That would make this paint lighter and add value. If I wanted to darken it, I would add black, and that would make the paint have a lower value. Okay, following
I
along.
also want
Yeah,
I also want to add, adding white is called tinting.
yes,
Adding black is called to shade, and I think
yep,
gray is tone. If you add a
yes.
gray,
So,
it's toning. Yeah, so just those
and
three
that
terms to add.
uh, that was the next thing I was going to say is to when you add grey. So, and when we say grey, we're talking about 50% black, 50% white mixed equally. That's what we call middle grey. And if you add that to any color, that's going to desaturate the color. So while adding black and white will desaturate it to some degree, you're just going to get darker or lighter versions. Adding 50% gray is basically going to knock the color straight out of your paint. So if you ever go, oh, the ultramarine blue is just a little bit too wow, and ultramarine blue is a very, very bright color compared to primary blue. So if you just wanted to knock some of the saturation down, you would just add some 50-50 black and white to make your middle gray. Okay, so do we
Oh, they
have
want to
any
know where you got
questions?
your color. Where'd you get your color wheel? They want to know.
Definitely not at the art shop because they wanted $35 for this, so I got mine on Amazon and it was $10. Same day delivery.
Maybe you'll put the link in your things to where they can get it.
Yes, I can do that. But honestly, just search color wheel. And this one came in two different versions. So this is the
I
nice,
think I have that
nice.
one. I have this one too, and
You've got the
I have
same
two.
one.
Yeah, and then I have
Yep,
this one too, which is cool.
they're pretty much all the same. They're all made with the
Yeah.
same principle, so it doesn't really matter which one you get. So I just went with the cheapest one, and they come in smaller versions as well. Just have a look on Amazon or eBay. And honestly, go for the cheapest one. So they're all going to do the
Yeah,
same
they're all the
thing.
same. It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the colors may not be accurate. That may be the only difference. The colors won't be color accurate to true primaries, but it's there for you to understand the color relationships.
Right.
Okay, so Lisa, on that note, do we want to talk about color relationships?
Color relationships.
Yes.
What kind of
So
relationship?
look on your printout, sweetie.
One moment, please.
We were prepared.
Where? I'm not
Okay.
following the order here.
No, no,
You
no, we're not. We've gone off key, but that's all
color
right.
relationships. Oh, yes. Okay. Relations. So let me take my color wheel.
Yes.
So let me use this one. We talk about complementary colors. So, if you don't know, if you take two complementary colors, which are exactly opposite from each other on the color wheel, and you mix them together, you'll get, if you do a 50-50 version, you'll get a really yucky brown. What are you pointing at?
Complementary
pointing.
colors.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
you're like Vanna White. I love that. Okay, yes, you do that. Okay, I thought I was doing something wrong, and I was like, what?
No. I'm just pointing. Yeah.
I like it. So, for those of you, I think we did it in the Shelley art. Mitchell and I did a challenge. I don't know if it was live or not, where we had ugly color challenge, and we had to do
Ugly
red and green together, and only use like red and green, and it was varying versions of like muddy yuck. Now, I will tell you, as a painter, when you're painting portraits or things like that, those like shades can be very helpful to play off other things, but in a bloom, it's like not the best thing that you want. So that's complementary. Next, we'll look at split complementary. So let's say, I'll do it better with the blue, a normal color. So let's say you want to know what blue's split complementary is. It's either color on either side of the complementary. You look funny when you do that.
Well, okay. I can't do it this way.
Okay. And the last one, I mean, there's a few others, but another most common one is the triad. So the three, and I'm going to do an example of the triad later. But these colors, if you're looking for some inspiration, can be quite nice with each other. And those are the main ones. So you want to be careful because, for instance, I love yellows and purples together, but you have to, in a bloom, make sure you don't layer them right on top of each other because they won't like that. But if you really wanted a yellow or blue, I would maybe start with the yellow and then do my things and maybe a little purple on top. So because they do not really get along when they're mixed together. So that is a lesson in relationships. Did I get them all? Oh,
pretty much. So there's one more which is called tetradic, and that's so as you go up further, it gets real. Like you can break this color wheel down into millions and millions of colors around this circle. So they've chosen a wheel because it flows, and it's a circular reference for the human mind to comprehend color in a way that is, easy to understand. That's just how our brains work. So when Lisa's talking about complementary colors, we're talking about exactly two opposite colors on the color wheel. So purple and green, blue and orange, purple and yellow, or violet and yellow. So, and I'll explain this in a second as well, what is actually shown on the color wheel, because it is important. The next one was the split complementary. So split complementary is exactly the same. So if you took your primary blue, it would split into orange and then the colors either side of orange, right? Then if you had triadic, it is a triangle of colors equally spaced around the color wheel. So because it's a circle, we can do that. So you've got yellow, pink, and blue. They would be your triadic combination, and that just happens to be the three primary colors, right?
Now, if you're going to re-explain in a better way everything that I already just said, why are you making me waste my breath?
No, I'm just because you didn't say it was equally spaced, and that's the important.
That's important. So that's why you're in charge of that. Okay, go on.
This way. No.
Continue.
And then the tetradic is basically just four. You make a square, and then it would go up further from there.
That makes sense.
Okay. So we've talked about primary colors. Now let's talk about secondary colors. So Lisa, what is a secondary color?
Oh, thank you. Let's hope I get all the terminology that you insist upon.
I'll shut my mouth.
Okay, bye. Oh, bye. Okay. So anyway, sorry, my mom just came down to bug me. Even though I said I'm live, do not come down. Okay. Secondary colors are two primary colors mixed together. And why don't I show you? Come and say hi. My brother.
Hi, Mama Marv.
No, and look, this is my brother Terry. You've never met. Say hello to 100 people. Come on.
Hi.
Hey.
This is Terry.
How's it going?
Hi, Terry.
Isn't he cute? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Bye. Love you.
Bye.
So, what I've done is I've taken my colors, my primary colors, and I have mixed them together to make secondary colors. So
Now, Lisa is using the primary cyan, yellow, and magenta. Because remember at the beginning, we said that there are two different primaries, two different sets of primaries, depending on whether you're doing print or whether you're doing paint. So Lisa's going to show you the cyan, magenta, yellow, and I have the red, blue, and yellow. Okay, so we'll show you the difference in secondaries.
It's going to be really cool to actually compare, like
Yes.
kind of side by side. Oh, everyone loves Terry. So, because to be honest, I have never used these colors to mix paints before. I got these specifically because I was always like a red, green. No, why did you say green? Red, blue, yellow person. So this is the yellow and the cyan. And look at this green makes. I mean, I'm not a green person, but it's not a horrible looking green, if you ask me. The secondary color I made was with the magenta and cyan. You know what? This is quite a nice purple, if you ask me. The third one I made was this orange. So these are called secondary. Sorry.
Colors.
Secondary colors. There you go.
Cool. So secondary colors again is two primaries mixed together. Now, I am mixing up now the red, yellow, blue combination, and I'm not doing a very good job at it.
So while you mix, why don't I show them when I mixed the secondary colors together what happened while you're doing that?
Yes.
So for funsies, I decided to mix my secondary colors together. So this light isn't great to show you. So obviously this is like an uglyish kind of shade. It's with the orange and purple that I mixed. But think about it if you're doing like a real painting, not a blue. This would be a really nice shaded color. Now, the next color, which is probably my least favorite one, is the green and the orange. Make this kind of like army color, which isn't great. But listen to this. This was the best discovery of the day. Are you ready? With my secondary purple and green. Look at this amazing green that comes. And then I said to myself, boy, I really love this green. Why do I love this green so much? Because it happens to be my favorite green, Holbein Shadow Green. This is a little dot of the shadow green beside. So now I know how to kind of make my own shadow green. What do you guys think? This was my favorite discovery. Thoughts?
And so if you have a look at that shadow green, the tube paint, if you do like a little dot, is always going to look far darker than if you spread it out. So if Lisa spreads that out, it'd probably end up more of that lighter color that she's mixed. And if you wanted to get to that really dark shadow green out of the tube, you would just add black. And that's going to knock some of the value out of the paint to make it darker.
Can I give you also another secret of mine? When you add black, get golden bone black because it's transparent. So almost actually all other blacks are opaque. And in doing blooms, again, adding too much opaque is like, it gets dangerous. So get yourself some bone black, and another secret, by the way, while we're here, get yourself some zinc white.
Yes,
It's also known
transparent.
It's transparent, also known as mixing white in other brands. There you go, little secrets.
Cool. Okay, so and that's important to know. Again, like Lisa said, they're both transparent. So for blooms, particularly important when you want to, add a dark layer without adding too much dark, because the black, if you like, we all know that with blooms, if you add an opaque color, it can tend to form like a haze almost over the top when the color spreads, and it will block all of that light coming up from underneath. Whereas if you've got a transparent black, you're going to get that darkness, and it's going to create some really nice contrast and shadows without being fully, full coverage, blocking everything else out. And then if we're talking about in terms of mixing your colors as well, that's also going to mean it's going to allow the color to show through, because it's the other pigment is transparent. So you're going to see more of the color that you're trying to darken than you are of the black. If you've ever tried to mix black or white into your paint, you've used titanium white or lamp black. It makes everything so dark so quick. So yes, bone black's a good one. However, it's not vegan, so don't use that paint if you're a vegan.
Although, hold on, it used to be made out of bones, but it's synthetic now.
Oh, great. Well, maybe it is
I
vegan.
think I read that. Don't, like, if you're a
Yeah.
serious vegan like Brie, like, don't come after me, but check it first. But I'm pretty sure they said it's synthetic now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because our lovely Bree, she's vegan, and she pointed that out to us, and we were like, "Oh no, you can't use it. It's such a good paint." She didn't realize until she bought it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have now mixed up my primary. So I've gone red, blue, and yellow primaries, and these are the secondaries that you get in the middle. Oh, excuse me, my nose is about to explode. I need to sneeze. So this is what you get when you have your secondary mixed with red, blue, and yellow. You're
Okay.
right there.
We're okay.
So you're going to get pretty similar colors. Um, what I find though is I much prefer the secondaries mixed with the cyan, magenta, and yellow, because the magenta gives a much more pleasing violet than what I get from red. I've never liked the purple that I get from mixing red, primary red and blue. It always looks too dark and too yucky. However,
I like that orange though.
it's really nice. And look, what we were saying before about adding more color, I did try to get a 50-50 mix of, hi Penny, welcome. I did try to get a 50-50 mix of red and yellow. However, I think I added too much red to start with. So you can always add more yellow or more red to change the hue of your color. And this is going to bring us to color temperature. I think this is the perfect segue into color temperature.
Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You
You're
go,
right.
you go. And I'll
No,
talk if there's anything.
cool. Okay, so color temperature. I'm sure we've all heard of warm and cool colors. Okay, so on our color wheel, it actually tells you which ones are the warm colors and which ones are the cool colors. So on here, where are we? Colors, cool colors. Okay, so it starts at violet, and this side of violet going towards red are warm colors, and this side of violet going towards blue are cool colors. And it's basically split 50-50 down the middle. So if you go from, oh, why didn't they line these up? So I just noticed that the violets aren't aligned. They're like, it's like here and here. That's annoying. Um, so if you go from violet here, this split straight down the middle to green, it tells you that from this side of yellow to this side of violet, you have warm colors, and these are the cool ones up the top. Now you can make a color warmer or cooler by adding colors from that opposite side of the wheel. So, for example, red is the warmest color, I'll say, and yellow is the coolest color in that spectrum. So, if I made an orange secondary color and I wanted to make it cooler, I added more yellow. So, you can see this one has more yellow in it compared to the orange that's in the center. So, this yellow would be classified as cooler because it's tending towards the cooler side of the spectrum, the bluer side where it's heading towards green, whereas that orange in the middle would be warmer because it's tending to be darker towards the red side of the spectrum. Does that make sense? Does anyone have a question about that?
I want to show you an example. Maybe that might be helpful.
Yes. Yes, please.
Just in piggies, and because I'm going to show you like a color combo I chose later. But for an example, I was looking for a light purple, and I said, do I want a cool purple with the colors or a warm purple? So these two would be a good example of a cooler color and a warmer color.
Yep, absolutely. So what was that? Agapanthus and pinwheel or enchantment?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that is true for every color. So when we're referring these back to piggies, that's true for every color. So often if it's looking a little bit more blue, it's a cooler color. And if it's a bit more train of thought's just gone.
Blue, red?
If it's looking a little bit more red or purpley, it's a warmer color. So and with the piggies, we've got so much choice that you can sort of go, okay, I want a warmer piggy or I want a cooler piggy. That's not to stop. That's not to stop you from mixing your own. You could totally do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Because we're freezing. No, someone said we were freezing. I hope we're not freezing too much.
Oh, it's freezing here in Australia.
No, the cam.
I know.
Oh, you're so funny.
No, I haven't noticed anything, so it could just be your internet connection. But if we do notice something, we'll try and resolve it as best we can. So now that we've got secondaries mixed up, let's show you which pigments correspond best to these colors. Okay, so I'm going to take you down onto my camera. Sorry if I make it onto my table. Sorry if I make you dizzy. I'm just going to flip my phone upside down. Oh, and hold on, no, it's not liking that. Flip the camera. Yeah, I just have to be very gentle with. No, don't tell me to rotate my device. Stop this. Stop being like this. Okay. Can we see my tape? There we go.
Yes, looking good.
Great.
But make sure you show things closer to the camera because that's pretty far-ish.
Okay. Yep. Not a problem. I can do. Now, this is my paint circle. And we've got our primary blue, primary red, and primary yellow. Oh my god, I feel like I'm summoning the paint gods. Now, I picked these based off how closely they matched on the color wheel. I don't really have an orange that sort of matches pure orange. So I've gone with Amsterdam Gold Yellow. That was the closest I could find.
That's pretty. So I don't even have that.
It's a really nice pale orange.
I like it.
And I used this in my giraffe piece because it was the perfect giraffe,
Can
giraffe
you bring it
orange.
closer to the camera so I can see?
I can.
Yeah, why don't I have that yellow? All right, on the list.
It's so nice. And Amsterdam Azo Orange is also another favorite. Azo Orange, I would say, is closer to what I've got here on the tape. So you can see this is the Azo Orange, and that's the color that I mixed up.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn close.
Very close, yeah.
The reason I love Amsterdam is because they have pretty much gone, well, you don't need to mix your own colors if you don't want to. You can buy them. So it's very handy and accessible.
It is quite.
Yes. So those are our colors and secondaries. Now, if we relate that to piggies, this actually surprised me quite a bit because the colors that matched the closest weren't the colors I expected. So starting with red, we have maraschino. Maraschino is the most vibrant red in the piggy line. It's not quite as sparkly as some of the other pigments because of how much pigment is actually in here. There's not as much mica, but it is still very vibrant, very bright. So that is our red. The Orange, closest to the color wheel to orange actually really surprised me, and it was honeycomb. So if I color match these based on the wheel, honeycomb was the winning orange, even though it's like a golden yellow. Then the closest piggy to yellow, submarine, which is a nice deep yellow. But if we look again on the color wheel, true primary yellow is more, it's cooler. It's a cooler yellow, where
Mm.
submarine is a very bright, warm yellow. Green, so closest to secondary green would be Echeveria. Again, not quite a perfect match, but a very nice green and pretty close. Then closest to primary blue, I chose Taffy.
Mm-hmm.
So it is really hard to match perfect primaries, especially when you're working with paints and pigments, unless it is, primary
Mm-hmm.
blue paint. And closest to violet, according to the color wheel, was Constellation. So we don't really have a pure, 50-50 split violet in the piggy selection.
Mm-hmm.
So Constellation was the closest that I found, although I would say Constellation is more of a blue violet.
Mm-hmm. I love it. One of my faves.
Cool. So those are our primaries and our piggies, and that's going to frustrate me, the OCD.
That looks so
Okay,
pretty.
yeah,
Just
and
laid out like that. I love it.
it wasn't until I picked all of those colors out and I had them in a line that I went, oh, that's actually the perfect layout if you were doing like a rainbow
I
swipe,
know. It's really
like
cool. Love
because
it.
that's something I've always struggled with picking piggies because there's such a wide variety.
Yeah.
And the best thing too is that you can almost make a pastel rainbow with the piggies as well because we now have lighter shades of all of these colors. So
Yes.
we've got enchantment and agapanthus, we've got
Yep.
frost,
Yep.
we've got
Sea
uh,
glass.
you could
Oh,
use sea glass,
Prenite.
you could use Praenite, that's the one. You could use Praenite, Sea Glass, or Aspen for the green,
Mm-hmm.
Lemon Sorbet for the yellow. We're
Mm-hmm.
waiting on this one. Oh, Bellini. You could almost use Bellini for the orange. And for
Right.
the red, I would go a pink. So maybe Sockeye would be really nice here, or any of the pinks.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, we've got lots of options, guys.
So many options. Love it.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
Okay.
Like, good so far? Getting the good info questions?
Yes, let's take some questions if you have them because I've done a lot of talking, and it's a lot of info to take in.
It is. It's definitely a lot of info.
Is there anything you want to add, Lisa?
Oh, I don't think so. No, I think we're doing pretty good on the like
Cool.
science of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, cool. And look, if you are confused or if there's something that we've said that you didn't quite catch, go back and watch this afterwards. We're gonna save this, so this will be on my channel because I'm the host. It'll be saved to my channel, but I will send the video to Lisa to upload to hers as well. And I'm pretty sure you should be able to watch it from the Facebook Live group, um, the Little Piggy group afterwards as well.
Well, that's fun. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I don't see any questions. What do you want to do? Do you want to get to painting? Are you painting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I can paint.
Yeah.
I just sanded down some rounds so I could do some nice big paintings. Um, so
What's
something
your
I did have,
theme? Huh?
I don't know. I don't know. um, so something I did prepare as well was to demonstrate variations in color based on pigment. So each paint is formulated with a different pigment to give a different hue. Okay, so remember, hue is the pure basis for color. So I chose blues as an example because that's the color I have the most of. I think I actually have more reds to be honest, but the blues were a really good example because there are so many different variations of them because they can be made with so many different pigments. So we start off with primary blue. And if you look on your tube paint, most of them will say which pigment are used to create it. So in this case, it's pigment blue 15.3 and pigment white 6. So I think that's titanium white. That makes primary blue. Okay. But if we look at cerulean blue, it uses PB36. If we look at ultramarine, it's PB29. So all of these are made with different pigments and they give you a different quality of blue. And let me see if I can. Oh, I can't actually demonstrate that. But then as you get into like your Payne's Grey, your Prussian blue, your Midnight blue, and indigo, these all use the same pigments mixed with others. So this one uses that same PB29 as ultramarine blue, but it's also got black added to it. And that makes it really, really dark, but also really vibrant. So it's, that's getting into the really complicated side of how paint works. But it gives you different shades of blue based on the pigment. And most recently, we would have heard that they've now discovered Yinmin blue, which is the newest blue pigment in 200 years.
I'm so excited. I really want it. But it's like $200 and sold out everywhere.
Yes, and I can't afford $200 for a single tube of paint. That blows my mind. If anyone has purchased it, please show us and send us some.
Well, it's even sold out. Like Jackson's, it's sold out. I want to just interrupt someone who asked. Oh, Glenna asked, "Can we mix?"
There's a couple of
Oh, piggies with two paints is my favorite thing to do. I just ran to go get an example. I hope you can see it. So this is a regular magenta, and this is my velvety magents, where I added TLP velvet. It's really hard to kind of see in this light, but I added a blue interference to it. So in certain lights, you see the blue pop up, and then other lights, you see the purple, the magenta. Mixing pigments and two paints are super fun. Mixing pigments together are super fun. That's like my joy right there. I hope that answered your question.
Absolutely. So Lisa does magenta with velvet. I love dioxazine purple and velvet. I think that's a winning combination.
Honestly, velvet. I also mixed today. I posted a video. I made a cool mint, a mint with velvet. Like velvet's my favorite for sure. I find it the most versatile with color. Purple and velvet would be really nice too. I don't think I've done that.
So I'm doing dioxazine purple and twinkle.
Yes, love twinkle. That's another good one.
Just for something different. Now, normally I wouldn't just add pigment to a mixed up paint already.
Yeah.
But for this example, I think we'll be fine. And so what you get, this was just a plain dioxazine purple matte tube paint. But adding in that twinkle has now made it brilliant and shimmery and delicious.
Yes, love it.
And now that that twinkle, like that purple, now has that little element of that pink, that violet that twinkle throws off, and a little bit of that blue. So yes, you can definitely mix your tube paints and pigments together. Mixing transparent tube paints is going to work better than opaques.
That's what I was just about to say. Be careful about adding opaques because it'll just take all that sparkle out.
Yep.
Love it.
Okay.
Pretty.
So someone has asked, what colors should never be put together? Now, this is a personal question because some people like the combination of, browns and blues and all sorts of things. I don't think there are any combinations that should never be put together. Like, that's all entirely up to you and what you're going with in your piece. And also what style of painting you're doing. Like we said, some paints may work brilliantly together for a Dutch pour, but look absolutely horrible in a bloom.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just going back to the last question about mixing secondary colors with your piggies. Yes, you can mix your piggies and your paints to make secondary colors, but you can also make your piggies to make secondary colors. So if you were to add, yellow and blue, you'd get a green in the middle. It's something awesome that you can do, and it's part of how Shelley comes up with colors and how all paint companies come up with colors by, mixing. What happens if we mix these two together? What color do we get? Custom colors. Lisa mixes custom purples all the time, and you look at them and you go, "Oh, wow! Well, why isn't that a color that I can buy?"
I cannot find one purple in a tube that's like my smoky perps. No one
Yep,
makes it. It's
yep,
so annoying, you know?
yep. And if you're ever looking for purple tube paint, I dare you in any brand to try and find more than one or two, like more than five purples.
Yeah.
Like they just don't make them.
Why is purple so hard? Like my go-to purples are permanent blue violet from Amsterdam. I love Matisse Australian sky blue, but it's because it's more like a periwinkle purple. It's more
Yep,
purpley than
yep.
those are like that's it. That or well, I don't know. I have some Holbein purples, like they have amethyst and things like that, but no one makes a deep purple that I love.
Yeah. So you mentioned the Amsterdam permanent blue violet. Permanent blue violet and permanent red violet are some of my favorite colors. And these
Mm.
are examples of warm and cool variations on the same color. So permanent blue violet is cooler and permanent red violet is warmer. Okay. Now, someone has asked, is it possible to mix a color close to the new expensive blue color? The answer is no, because blue is a primary color, so you cannot mix anything to make a primary color. It is the primary. Also, that new blue is a very specific mixture of chemical compounds. So it's yttrium, manganese, and something else or something. Um, that scientists were trying to get a reaction out of it, left it in the oven for too long at too high a temperature, and when they came back the next day, it was glowing blue with this new pigment. So it was found by mistake, and you
It's
can't. It's not
called
something that.
it's called by the way Yin Min. YNMN or MIN.
Yes,
It's like
MN, I think. Yeah,
YNM. What is it?
YNMN.
Oh, YNMN. So it's not a real word.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. No, it's the combination of elements. So it's capital Y, little n, capital M,
uh,
little n. Yeah,
uh, uh, yeah.
yeah.
Sorry,
So
go on.
Matisse is currently the only company that makes that in a paint, but it's $136 a tube or something like that. Ridiculous. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, like we said earlier, if you have it, please show us.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
So,
Beverly said so. You only need like 6 tube paints, and if you put in some time to mixing, you could make a whole plethora of colors.
absolutely, absolutely. It's true. Like and they often say, so your three primaries. Pretty my
Mm-hmm.
yeah, oh, it's that one. The three primaries and black and white are pretty much all you'll ever need to get your, secondary colors and everything else in between. Um, but having those other options for, your red violet and your blue violet, they do come in handy because,
Yeah, they do.
sometimes you can't get that exact color. And that's the
Yeah.
reason that they make them like that.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, I lost my train of thought because there's a magpie picking at my window.
Oh.
Little pest. Um, the best place, honestly, the best place to learn about color mixing is go and watch a Bob Ross tutorial.
Love him.
He's he's so good at just pulling a little bit of color from here, a little color from there, and after watching this video and understanding warm and cool colors and how they interact, go and watch what he does as he's pulling in, a little bit of Van Dyke brown, a little bit of titanium white, a little bit of sap green, just to see what happens. something you can do when you're at home as well is, okay, so we've got like, primary blue. Try mixing primary blue with, a purple, or primary blue with a different color of red. So I've got cadmium red here. That's going to give me a different purple than primary red's going to give me. So let's use that as an example, actually. Here we go. So that's cadmium red. Now, cadmium red uses cadmium metal in, like, the cadmium element in these paints. So it is toxic if you ingest it. It's fine to paint with. Just be careful you don't get any in your mouth. And it's also opaque. So all of the primary colors that I've got, they're all semi-transparent. The cadmium red is opaque. So I'm just going to mix a little bit of this, and I'll put it over here. And this is what I was talking about, getting ugly colors out of, the paints. That's more like a maroon. And all I did was change which red pigment I used, which red paint it was. Whereas the primary colors blended to make this really nice purple.
Yes. Huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is why I don't like mixing purples together, like red and blue, because I always get this ugly, pilly maroon color, and it's gross.
That's true. Yeah, I don't like that one.
No. All right, so I think now we come to the time where we paint and offer some color combinations.
Funsies. Okay, you go first. I'll set my paints up.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to go first?
I don't know. I didn't know the bus was coming.
Is that an Australian joke?
You threw me under the bus.
Oh, then I'll go first. Hello. I'm always prepared, unlike my partner here, who's not prepared.
That was so funny.
How about I'll do, because I'm doing two. So I'll do one, then you do one, and then I'll do one, you do one. Okay?
Cool.
So somebody mentioned, I read, that I'm more intuitive and Mitchell is more scientific, and that's absolutely true. And that's absolutely why we love doing these videos together, because I do not want to retain as much knowledge as Mitchell has, because like snooze, However, whenever I have a question, of course I go to Mitchell because I know he'll have the answer, but I don't want to know all of it. So I just want you to know what inspired me was my fake shadow green color. So that's what we're going to use today. My two examples that I'm doing is, the first example I'm going to be doing is how I intuitively pick colors. I do never look at the color wheel.
Don't look at the color wheel, never ever.
Never not know, okay? But what I learned, because for the second one, I did look at the color wheel, and such a different, well, you'll see, we'll compare, but I really enjoyed it because it gave me like a color combo that I would never think of. So, intuitively, how I pick colors. I start with this color and I say to my head, what colors feel like they want to go with this? Well, greens want to go with this, right? So in my mind, I said, what green would really pop with this? So I start with my sea glass, and look, we're building a palette as we go, right?
Yep.
So here we have, I love me some sea glass a lot, okay? So then I said to myself, I already know in every pour, I used a interference piggy because I love the depth and they just pop. So then I say to myself, I am going to grab macaw. Hold on, let me show you. Which is a great interference because it's like green and turquoise and like gold. It has a really cool, I'm just going to mix her up. Really cool. Let's see. You can see, okay, so you see the kind of, I hope you can see, the greeny turquoise. It's hard to slide, but you can kind of see. So wouldn't that look nice you know, with sea glass. So there you go. I have 3 colors already. I'm winning, right? So then I said to myself, we need a bit of interest because we can't be going all greens. So what looks nice with green? Purple. So, and this is where I said to myself why I had the enchantment. What do I want to go cool or warm with this color palette? So this is already a cool color palette. And I felt, and I was debating, okay? I felt though if I threw in, and I like mixing cool and warms, but you just have to do it like intentionally. I just
Yes.
felt like this would throw it off too much with the warm. So we are going enchantment. So then I said to myself, uh-oh, I have 3 piggies now. Slow down and throw in some tubies. Because as you know, I like to layer piggy tubie, little piggy tubie. So I said to myself, what nice color will go? I hope you guys are taking notes. What nice tube color would go? And one of my favorite tube colors that I know look nice is phthalo turquoise. Okay, so now we have 3 piggies, 2 tubies. We need 1 more tubie, and what I love to top my blooms with is the Amsterdam Titan Buff. Kind of looks like this because
It
it's
gives a
very
really nice
kind of
look.
mild. It is opaque, so you have to use it carefully, but it gives a nice kind of peacock cell rounding for some cells. So what I like to do, and what's very important to do, is now I did this afternoon, so it kind of melted, but is to put your color combo down on a tile to see what matches, if it matches. Since it's melted, you can't really see, but this is a pretty nice color combo, if I do say myself, and this is how I'm going to layer them. So why don't we do that? Let me just move my stuff out of the way. Questions about that so far? God, that was a lot of talking there for a minute. Okay, let's move
I thought it was never going to stop.
I know, right? Like, hello.
Must be like what I sound like when I talk. Jeez.
God. Okay. I'm gonna move my things out of the way here. What do you guys think of this color combo? And a lot of the time when I tell people my color combos, they're like, uh-oh, really? That sounds strange, you know? And to be honest, sometimes it is strange.
But sometimes the strange ones work, and I'm going to try and demonstrate that. Okay.
I'm just
So
still, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I'm just picking out my colors now.
Okay, I'm laying
works.
out my color. By the way, I'm using Payne's Gray Cell Activator. In case anyone is wondering, this is not a very good angle. Hold on. We'll get it at a good angle. Comments. No one's commenting. Oh, it looks lovely. Thank you. I need some reassurance, guys. Okay.
Everything you do is going to look awesome. Lisa has a really bad habit. She'll send us pictures and be like, "Oh my god, isn't this one just the ugliest painting I've ever done?" And we're like, "What the f are you talking about? It's beautiful. What do you mean?"
I often hate. Look at how thick my. I don't know if you can tell. Okay, way too thick cell activator. Okay, let's see. We're just doing a little bloop. Okay. Remember, guys, as you're going, you have to look at your consistencies because they change as they sit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, just a little note. We're still not at a good angle. Hold on. By the way, I'm using my new fancy telephone. I think it's the iPhone 14. So hopefully it's a good, oh, it's still too thick.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, everybody, we're taking bets. How long until Lisa's microphone is stuffed because she's got paint in it?
No, I'm really trying to avoid that.
Sorry to interrupt this message, but this is the first time I've seen this. This is This is quinacridone red by
What?
josonja. Quinacridone red by josonja. This is what it's done to my paint. Look at this.
Oh, I can't see it because I'm watching on the
Oh,
iPad, so I
yeah,
have to wait a minute.
it's
Oh,
like,
oh, gross.
yeah,
And Joe,
that's not it's not being used.
why?
Actually,
And Joe
I
Sonya's
don't
usually really soft.
I don't know. Well, this has been sitting for months, like
Uh,
months and months and months, but I've never seen it thicken up quite like that.
that's weird.
Yeah, but let's see. This is a good example, good test to see if we can save it.
Sorry I'm taking so long, but like I don't know what happened, but my cell activator, I sniffed it to make sure it wasn't pouring medium. It's like really thick, but it's cell activator. Okay, we're almost done. Then we're gonna get to fine. I'm just going for it, whatever. Okay, so my pillow paint. Wait, I bought gloves because I'm clean. Okay, one moment, please.
Oh, oh, what is happening? The world is ending. Lisa's wearing gloves.
I'm very clean and organized. Oh yeah,
Okay, so I
yeah.
just saw a comment. Someone said, "What series of Amsterdam paint do you recommend?"
Oh,
So, they are two different lines and carry two different sets of colors depending on uh, what sort of color scheme you're going for. So it's in saying that, like, it's not based on our personal opinion, but the expert line tends to have more. They're both deeply pigmented, but the expert line tends to have more pigmentation, and I don't want to say better quality paints because they're of equal quality. Um, Actually, didn't the guy from Amsterdam put a post up about this?
he did. He made a really long. His name is Kyle Richardson, and if you go to the
Yep, that's
Piggy
it.
group, hmm he
Yep,
posted a lot of good info.
he posted an exact comparison of which the permanent and versus the standard. It's just the colors are different in each one. They offer a little bit of a different color selection, and
I love.
yeah,
There's a lot of expert series colors that are awesome that aren't in the. Is this
standard.
enough? In the standard series. Hold on.
And there's a lot in the standard series that aren't in the expert as well. Um, Now, that brings me to another little thing, a little bit of a sidetrack
Mm-hmm.
about the series. So, if you look on your tube paint, um, a lot of companies categorize their paints with a series number, and often the higher you go in series number, the more expensive the paints get. That's due to availability of pigment, how difficult it is to source, how difficult it is to work with. Um, so you'll often find that, Australian Red Violet by Matisse is one of the most expensive paints I've ever purchased, and it's like $35 a tube,
I love it.
compared to some of the other ones in the line, which are only $10 a tube. Um, it's just because that particular colored pigment is so difficult to source and work with that it costs more to produce. So if you see that series number, it's mostly a production value thing in most companies. I don't know if any others use it for anything else, but yeah, pigment availability and production method.
So by the way, I've laid down my agapanthus, and then I've got to thin this a bit, but this is that mixed fake color I made. Um,
The shadow green.
the photo green because it's faux shadow.
Oh, okay.
So this is the color I mixed up with that, you know, green and purple.
Yeah,
Okay.
gotcha, gotcha,
On
gotcha.
So I'm using my macaw, and this is a little thick too, but I don't mind when the pigments are a little thicker. And I'm putting it over the photo green because
I
to
know.
really pop over the dark color. And then I'm gonna do. Oh, look at how thick this is. I don't know. These have been sitting around a while. So all I'm gonna do, by the way, is a bloop. to thin her out. Okay. And we're gonna drizzle izzle. Okay. And then we're going sea glass. Also, ooh, no, that's too thick. The reason it's so thick is because honestly, they've been sitting around for months. No, maybe a month.
Mm-hmm.
So they need a little love and care.
Guys, I have some paints that I've mixed up last year. I just don't use them.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to use one today, like in the next couple of minutes. And it's a color that a lot of people go, ugh. Um,
Yeah.
I do that, and I'm going to give you one guess at what it is. Lisa knows what it is.
I actually don't know what it is, but it
You
doesn't.
do what color do we globally reject as a color?
Oh no, is it a brown of some sort? Oh, it's quinacridone QNAG.
No,
Nickel
no, 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 no. It's a
Oh,
piggy.
oh, I did. Okay, hold on. Excuse me. I'm trying to work here. Okay,
Oh,
can I blow?
go, go, go.
Okay, thank you. Holy cannoli. Is it a seaweed? Seaweed. Okay, I'm blowing.
Yes, there we go. She got
Oh, hold
it.
on. I gotta. Oh no, because the phone's in the way. That was the worst blow ever because the phone is like right in my face. But
That's pretty though.
don't.
I like that.
I mean, it's not ideal, but it's not horrible. At least I see some of the purple come up, but not my plan. I'll leave it. Okay. Well, there you go. I mean,
Spin
cute
it
little
out and see how it looks.
yeah, cute little peacock cells. I like to wait a minute, Mitchell, for things to sink a bit. Don't
Okay.
rush me.
Okay, I'm not rushing you.
Thank you. Holy
All right.
cannoli.
So
Um,
while we're waiting for that, shall I talk about my color selection?
yes, go.
Okay. So Lisa spoke before about mixing cool and warm colors. So I'm going to and it's part of the color wheel because if you're using a color scheme, you're always mixing a cool and a warm color. Okay, so they're always going to be directly opposite each other if you're working based on the color wheel. So for my color combo, I chose the violet red and blue violet, um, and I've gone with the green blue color scheme. So let's go with red violet here, and I'm going with a green, a blue, and seaweed. Um, so the colors that I chose based on the color wheel are as follows. So I've got Matisse dioxazine purple, so a nice deep purple tube paint. I have this little piggy violet rain, so a nice sparkly deep violet purple, and this one is pretty close to red violet. Then I saved that disgusting gloopy quinacridone red just by adding some water to it. Now this paint looks pink. It's actually pretty red when it's fully mixed, but I have added less pigment to it so it's not fully saturated. Okay, so
I
this
like
would
those
be an
colors.
example.
They look pretty.
Yeah, so this is like an example of our red on the back here that's desaturated. So it would actually be this nice pink color at the top, but it's now closer to the middle. So adding white will desaturate your colors and make it will tint it lighter. Then I have chosen Lagoon, this little piggy. So this is like a teal color. So sticking in the green range, but more towards the cool side. I have Prenite, which is the lovely minty green. And then I have Seaweed. So this is a wild card color. If I was just doing a bloom with those five, that'd be great. But I'm going to throw this in and we're going to see how it looks. So this is, oh no, it's like a goldy green, but it's on the dark side. And this is a color combination that plays with hue as well as tints. That looks so pretty, Lisa.
I'm trying to get like a good light so you guys can see the sparkle, but this light sucks for sparkle.
This is so cool. So did you put agapanthus down first?
I did. So I just like how it comes. Hold on.
I can see it in the middle there. It's just coming through in those cells in the center. Very subtle, but it's beautiful.
There. You can see the spark. I just want people to see the sparkles.
Yeah. It's hard.
Okay,
So
you get the picture. Go on, sorry.
it's hard to show sparkle when things are dry. It's even harder when they're wet because you just sometimes just get the wet look.
I'm just putting her away.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to do mine now, and I think I'm going to do mine on a black base. So I love working on a black base for blooms, especially with pigments, because I think it shows the pigments a lot better. And I'm going to do a swipe for mine.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love a black base too, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you know what my favorite black base is? Is blues and golds over a black base. I just always killer.
Yep. Oh, something I wanted to bring up from before. Lisa was talking about the browns and the blacks that you get from mixing your secondary colors together. If you are a portrait artist or you're doing landscapes and things, we don't ever see pure black in nature. Like even charcoal isn't pure black. Like that's the blackest thing that I could think of. So if you're looking at your paintings and going, what's missing? It's because your black is too black. Add some red to it, add some green to it. And that was a trick that I learned a little while ago. And I actually have Atelier makes a series of blacks with reds in them, with tints in them. So you've got red, black, blue, black, green, black. So if you're painting a tree, for example, and you're doing landscapes, don't use pure black. Use green, black. Mix a bit of, that shadow green. Mix your complementaries together. So that's going to make your artwork just look a little bit more realistic than having just a swatch of black in there. Same as white.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yep,
I'll talk after.
Go. No, you're right.
What I was going to say was when I was a portrait artist, because I'm not classically trained at all. I just one day started painting, and I'm very good at portrait artist, but not like traditional as you would think. But anyways, so I was like kind of taking classes, nothing serious, but they always said make your own black. Never use black from the tube. So purple and yellow, or purple and yellow, no, green and yellow. Some of those, anyways, there's ways to make black if you're painting that are better than straight from the tube. Okay, that's all.
She's like, colors are fun. I like colors.
Just throw in some colors and see what happens, okay? It will likely turn black.
Yes. And that's also a good thing to remember is that if you have leftover colors that you're like, okay, I'm not really a fan of that color mixed up, all colors go into black. So just chuck them all in one pot, they'll make a black. All right, so because I am swiping, I'm going to flatten this out a little bit first and just make sure I have enough paint on here. I'm just reusing the same canvas or the same board that I used to show my colors on, and that's actually really cool. I like it. Now,
make sure you guys are in the live chat because I only see 25 in the live chat, and so just make sure again you're in the live chat. That's all. Sorry, go on.
Whoops. What? I was wondering why I wasn't getting any comments. Because I'm looking on I have it on my phone screen as the live chat, but didn't put it on the computer. That's funny.
That's hilarious.
Considering I was the one at the start that was like, go to live chat, everyone, and I didn't. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. All right, so I've got my black base down, and then we're going to go with our colors. So I always like to start with a tube paint. We always advise to start with a tube paint and with a tube paint because it gives really nice cells. Of course, rules are made to be broken. You don't have to do that.
Just so you know, I never start with a tube paint, but as a beginner, I would 100% start with a 2 paint.
Yep. It just gives a lot of support for your pigments if you're using pigments. And the first color you put down is going to be the color you're going to see more of. Okay. So I'm going to go with my darker purples. I like to lay out darkest to lightest. I don't always do that, but I find it gives a really nice effect. So I've got my Matisse Dioxazine purple. This is Violet Rain by this little piggy. Then I think I'm going to put down Seaweed because that's my next darkest color. And as they've been sitting for the last couple of minutes, they're thickening up. So just adjusting with a little bit of varnish.
Seaweed, by the way, is probably our most hated color. And then whenever we use it, we're like, it's not that bad.
Why don't we use it more often? Like,
I'll still say it's my most hated color, though.
Yeah, like I just put this down on the canvas and I'm like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful on top of the purple. So then I'm going to do a little drizzle of Lagoon. Again, this little piggy. Oh, that's really pretty. A little bit too thick, but really pretty. And this is a color combination I've never tried. So I'm really excited to see how this turns out.
Yes.
And I just realized I'm doing a swipe, not a bloom. So it's going to be fun. With a swipe, you don't have to be as accurate with your consistencies, but it does help to be pretty close. So that color was Pre-Night. And with the josonja quinacridone red, I'm actually going to put that on my swipe tool. So I've got a nice big swipe tool here. This is the Fluid Art Co. one, the biggest one. I'm going to cover it with my cell activator is really thick as well. I'm going to cover it with my cell activator. There's a drop. And if you're doing blooms, your cell activator should be really a thin layer so it breaks apart. Okay. And Wendy, at least you do. Someone has to. Wendy
I
says
think there's a few people who love it.
Wendy adores seaweed. And look, like we said, it's the color that we just sort of leave to sit in the corner. And then when we use it, we're like, oh, yeah. All right. So this is my white cell activator, josonja quinacridone red, just mixed in like pouring medium. And then I'm going to swipe and spin my spinner.
Ooh, love it.
Bring this out. And let's see what we get. Oh.
So, by the way, I want to give that is called a Billy swipe, okay? Because I did this first on a live when Billy was in my ear in the Shelly Art group. She's like, do this. And then I did it. And then we all started doing it because it's so fun. And I called it a Billy swipe. Do not call it a spin swipe or a cyclone swipe, okay? Billy swipe. Thank you.
Cyclone. It's a cyclone Billy.
Yeah, we call her that sometimes.
We call her Cyclone Billy because if you've seen that little snippet of her with her automatic pottery wheel,
oh my god,
that clip comes up every now and
hilarious.
then, and I laugh. Okay, so we're going to give this a spin and see what we get. Now, I don't normally use white cell activator over a black base. It's not my favorite thing to do, but we can get some interesting effects from it, and I clearly didn't put enough paint on. So we're really going to have to spin this and make it work.
Spin it, spin it.
Okay, how are we going? How are we looking? This is looking like some kind of
colors pop up.
It's looking like some kind of strange planet.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have any questions so far, guys? Are you learning something? Are you enjoying it? What have you learned?
Is there a color combination you would like to see?
Good one. Are there piggies that you want to see? Although we don't have all day. It's already been an hour, almost an hour and a half. People need to do stuff today, but
we'll do one more painting if you want us to.
Yes, well, you are going to want, because my paints are ready to go, so they don't have a choice, actually. Look at how clean I am. Like, I got something on my arm already.
What do you mean how clean you are? Look at your shirt.
Well, this is like a painting shirt. Okay?
Okay.
Actually, I should be wearing my apron, but what comes from using a piggy to layer first? When using a piggy first, you have to make sure that it's thick enough, that it's not too thin, because
Yes.
you don't want like a nice pillow and then a thin, wimpy color to hold up all your other colors. You have to remember you're building a building, okay? And the ground floor, every floor has to have integrity or else you're screwed. So,
Exactly.
transparency. Sure. A little chat about transparency. Just so you know, most tubes, oh, these are dirty. Most tube paints show you, like, so for instance, Amsterdam, see, there's a line through this, means it's transparent. No, so transparent is a square. This line means it's semi-transparent, but it's basically the same thing. Full means opaque. That's what you want to worry about the most with blues. Some tubes, like, I don't think, just looking at this Holbein one, I don't know if it has it, but most of these dark greens are at least semi-transparent. They're not opaque. Most opaque colors are like your your teal is always opaque. Light pinks, like something that looks like white is added to it is usually opaque.
Yes. Okay, so this is my color combo.
I like it.
I do too. That seaweed it's a contrasting color. So on top of the purple and like the lagoon is throwing so much blue over the black base, and it's almost like a color shift when it goes over the purple as well. So I'm getting like really deep, almost taffy blue when it's mixed over purple, but a really nice teal that it like the true color in the center there. So that's a non-conventional color combo, I would say, but using the color wheel to pick it. So we've got the green and the purple. Up here, we've got the pre-night in the corner, in the top part of the bloom, and it looks really, really pretty. So I'm going to set that one aside to dry, and let's see what else you guys want to see.
Well, why don't we talk about my second color combo where I use the color wheel?
Yes.
Okay. One moment, please. Okay.
As you can tell, we prepared greatly for this video.
Excuse me, I was mixing paints for like 2 hours today. So on this color wheel, there wasn't anything really compared to what I did. So I kind of guesstimated at this like blue violet, even though it's more of a green violet, but whatever. So, and I decided to do, no, that's not what happened. Hold, please. Hold. I was so organized. Haha. Was this it? What a jerk. Hold on. What did I do? Guys, I don't know what I did.
Lisa's having an existential crisis, everyone.
Aha! I do know what I did. I'm a silly head. I did blue-green for some reason. This is what I chose, okay? And I did a triad of red, violet, yellow, green, and the yellow, orange, and the blue. Okay? Just trust me. Okay? I use this triangle. All right? Well, what was cool about it? So remember, so we started with this. Honeycomb is my kind of yellowy orange. That's what we're going to start with. Then Amsterdam makes this red violet color. Okay? Cool. I love these two colors together already. What's going to happen? I don't know. Then, of course, I have to add my interference. So this, unlike my first one, is warm. So for my warm interference, I'm doing TLP Comet. Ooh, look at this. I am obsessed. Okay? Comet. It's like the red interference. Oh, it's going to drip. Right? Can we just say, ooh, that's amazing? Say it. Ooh, that's amazing. Right?
Ooh, that's amazing.
Thank you. And then we're going to go back. So the first 3 layers are warm, and the next 3 layers are going to be cool. Okay, so I have my color, and then I decided to do some this one again, sea glass, and again top it with this as a blue. So it'll be interesting to see the difference of having a warm underneath. Is it going to look good? I don't know. It's kind of like a crazy layering situation, right? Okay. Let's try to get this back over here. Okay. Oh my God, so much talking. Oh wait, I can't see. No comments. I don't want comments. Okay. There we go. All right. So let's get the pillow down. Oh, wait a minute. I'm moving the camera this way so it doesn't get into my head while I blow. There you go. Blowing. Thank you. Okay. Here you go. That sounds disgusting, Mitchell. What are you doing over there?
Sorry, I'm mixing paint.
Oh. Okay.
I found another josonja color that turned to gloop.
Really? Those josonja colors?
That's weird. It's really weird. I haven't used them for over a year, and that's probably why.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, go like this. It's okay. Bloopity blue, bloopity blue, bloopity blue, bloopity blue. All right, there we go.
And if anyone's wondering, no, she is not okay.
Bloopity blue. If you do not say weird noises to your paints, see, this might be. Is this too thick? Might be a little thick. They don't.
Are you really an artist? Are you really an artist if you don't talk to your paint babies?
Exactly.
Ooh.
All right, that's a little better. Ooh, thick paints, eh? Okay, whatever. Here we go. I love this color. Okay, just saying.
Honeycomb.
Yeah,
I'm
love it.
using that in my next one as well.
Are you? It's such a good one.
Yes.
Like, I love this combo together right here. The honeycomb with the purpley pinky. You know? Okay.
And you really make purples and pinks work with the yellow. And Chris Glacier as well.
Yes.
Amazing. But like every time I try it, I'm like, yeah, I don't like it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I picked the right purples to go with it.
Oh, yeah. Oops. Did you guys see? Something fell in. Hold on. I got to do a rescue mission. Hold on. Oopsie. No, thank you. Should I do a little more? Yeah, no, we're good. All right. Let's see if I can blow. This is thickened up again just from sitting here. Whatever. Just drizzle. Let's see if I can do a better blow this time. You know what I mean? Okay. I do have brulee handy. Do I thin the colors with josonja? Just josonja. Okay, I'll tell you the name in a sec. Hold on. Okay. You guys, freaking gorgeous. I'm yelling at it. I love it.
You are so pretty.
I really.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty. There's
I'm
some,
watching
of
it on the.
course, there's some places
Yeah.
I don't like, but whatever. It's fine. The Amsterdam purple that I used is called. Oh, where did I put it? That's how annoying is that? I'll tell you in a minute. I don't know where I put it, and I don't have much space to put them anywhere either.
All right.
Now this one, because I'm under these cool lights, you're not going to see the warm sparkle as much. I might have to take my phone with me somewhere so you can see,
Yep.
because I don't want you to miss that. Just disgustingly awesome. The comet, because in this light it looks really dark right now, but it's not as dark as it seems.
It's so pretty on the camera.
Is it?
Yes.
I hope so.
Those cells are amazing.
The comet over the magenta and over the honeycomb is really nice.
Yeah.
But again, you're not really getting the warmth. But I'm going to spin it one more time. Oy, oy, oy.
Okay, while you're doing that,
Yes.
let's discuss what I've chosen.
Let's do that.
All right, so Lisa you chose the triad colors, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So when she mentioned honeycomb, I thought, okay, well, let's do a tetradic color combination using honeycomb because I really love that color. And so I would say that honeycomb is the orange. So having that as the pure color, I went directly opposite on the wheel to blue. And then the other colors that would be relevant to that would be yellow, green, and violet red. Okay, so for my color choice, I went waterfall for my blue. Obviously, we've got honeycomb for the orange. It's more of a yellow, but it's closest to the orange that we could get. Then for my violet red or red violet, I've got Deja Vu, which is the new neon color. And the green, it's the yellow green. I have josonja yellow green or green yellow, whatever it is. And then I thought I would chuck in an interference, and I have all gown. So I'm
That
going to
looks
use
really bright and cheery.
yeah. So I've never used these four colors together, and it's so strange. You can paint for years and years and years and never ever use four colors together and go, oh, why don't I do that? Like, that makes total sense.
Not only that, like I still get excited when I see something fun like Comet, which I use all the time. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it never gets old.
All right, so I think I'll do another swipe just because it's going to be easier with the angle of the phone. And again, with my swipes, I like to pour down my pillow first and then spin it out a little bit. And this way it's going to distribute the paints a little bit more evenly so that when you spin it out, it's not going to stretch too much. Now, I am going to learn from my previous mistake and not put it all in the center. So for this one, let's go some Deja Vu.
I love Deja Vu.
It's very, very pretty. Then I'm going to put down Waterfall.
That looks great over a yellow, by the way.
Deja Vu or Waterfall?
Deja Vu.
Yeah.
The waterfall also I love. It has like, you know, that warm, that like purpley blue that velvet has?
Yes.
That's what waterfall has. It's really cool.
So Lisa, when she first got Waterfall, she's like, "Oh, I don't know if it's my favorite blue. It's becoming my favorite blue. Like out of all the piggies, I just love the warm quality that it has." And
Yes.
so again, that's a warmer blue compared to taffy, which is a cooler blue. Like even within blues, you can have warm and cool colors. So
Indeed.
then
Yeah. I
I'm
was
going,
looking at it in the jar and I was like, what would I do with this? I don't know. But
yeah,
yeah,
it works.
works.
Then so that was the josonja yellow green. little bit of honeycomb on top. And I do find that you don't need too much honeycomb because it is a very prominent color.
Yes, it is. Someone asked if Deja Vu is the truest hot pink. No, Deja Vu is a violet. The hot pink would be Hustle, or what's the other one? Groovy?
I don't think we don't really have a hot pink. What I would say is hot pink is like show pony.
Really?
Show pony or watermelon even.
Show pony is very bright. When I think of a hot pink, though, I think of a deep pink, like a neon deep pink.
Yeah, we don't really have.
Why don't I go
Like
get them while you're doing that? One moment, please.
like Barbie pink. Yeah, I would say like Barbie pink. I don't think we really have one, and they are quite hard to make. But yeah, and everyone's got different opinions on what what hot pink is. So yeah, that's a tough one. All right, so my layers on my board here are Deja Vu, Waterfall, Honeycomb, and the golden yellow, the yellow green, whatever it is, and ball gown. And then I've done the white with ball gown on my swipe tool as well. And I'm going to swipe, and I'm
Billy
pushing
Swipe.
down. Now I push too far into the pillow in the middle, so I've got a big chunk of white. I'm not doing my best painting today, guys. I've got to say.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just having an off day, I think.
Nah.
I was out very late last night, so we'll go with that.
You know what? I have so many frustrating days. While we're waiting for your thing, I couldn't find Show Pony for some reason, and these lights are really intense. So I have Hustle, Groovy, and Afterglow. Afterglow is sparkly though. Hustle and Groovy are not.
Oh, I do love Afterglow.
Yeah.
All right, try something weird in the middle with another swipey and stuffed it. So
yeah, do a wreckage.
Do a wreckage. Oh, all right, train wreck. Woo! All right, yeah, and let's do a wreck like that. Okay, let's see what we get. We're here to see color combos. Ooh, me likey. Okay, so again, this was a tetradic color combination, so picked off the color wheel. And because we've picked, it's basically got a primary, a secondary, a tertiary, and between the tertiary colors, you've got so many different variations in there that I've now got like a gradient of color in this little area here. So let me give it another
I
spin.
like that. I think that's really like tropically.
It is, and it's not something you would expect.
Yeah.
Let's have a look see.
Oy, I'm craving it.
Like, and it's amazing because in the middle, where those solid lines are here, it looks red. There's no red in this paw at all. It's purple and yellow.
Oh, I see. It's like very deep, right?
It's very deep, yeah. And sometimes you'll just get really surprising colors. So it's probably like a darker orange from the honeycomb and the Deja Vu, but because of the colors around it, it looks red.
It's really cool, and that's what I love. I love how sometimes you get a whole other color in your bloom.
And you're like, I didn't put that there. What do you mean? All right. So I think that's it for painting, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I think we did a good, it's been an hour and a half-ish.
Cool.
How does everybody feel? Questions? Did you learn something? Like anything else you want to see quickly, or let us know.
And if you're watching this back and you think of something later, post it in the comments. We'll respond. This is on my channel, so if I see the comments, I'll respond to them. And I'm going to send this video to Lisa as well, so she can upload it to her channel, so you can ask questions there as well. And I think it will be in the little piggy group from the event page. I'm pretty sure you can get to this video from there as well.
I don't see any questions yet. Well, so while we're waiting, I really liked all the color combos that we did. I liked the different, I like that using a color wheel can really give you cool different ideas that you might not have. Closer views of the paintings. Favorite TLP mix with 2 paint. Well, my favorite probably is Velvety Magenta. Velvet plus magenta. All right, so why don't I turn, okay, I put my paintings over there, but you know what? I'm gonna bring my phone, like when we're done, I'll bring my phone. Actually, why don't I do it now? Hold on.
Sorry, I'm just cleaning everything up. So I like to clean as I go after I'm done painting so that I'm ready for the next one. So you just saw me wipe down my spinner.
I'll have you know, I was also cleaning as I was going, okay?
Yeah. So like I always wipe down my spinner so that next time when I come in, especially if I'm doing swipes, I don't have chunks of paint that are going to interrupt scraping the paint off the spinner.
So this is in the warm light. This is just so you can see a bit of the difference. Hopefully you can see like the warmth of the comet.
Oh, so pretty.
Right there. Oh, look at all that comet. Okay. And then, just want to make sure you guys see. Okay. Cool. And then I'll do my other one. Cool. Okay. Here we go.
Nice. That is so pretty.
Do we like my intuitive painting more than the color wheel painting? Hold on, I'm trying to get the word.
I think they both look great. Right, so then this was the one with the seaweed and the violet rain and
I
lagoon.
like how the seaweed is gold over the black.
Yes. And then we've got the tetradic combination. So we have the honeycomb, deja vu, waterfall,
I like that
and the
one.
yellow gold. Yeah, really pretty, really tropical. I think I might turn these into clocks when they're dry.
Turn them into what?
Clocks.
Oh, sorry. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, clocks. Yes. Clocks.
You know, tick tock, tick
Tick
tock.
tock. Tick tock. Hold on.
All right. Do we have any questions?
Those are gorgeous. No. You guys really knocked it. Thank you. Fantastic
Thanks,
info.
guys.
Thank you. Blah, blah, blah. Everyone loves it. Okay. Well,
Awesome.
sounds like we did a pretty bang up job today, Mitchell.
Yeah, high five.
Oh, look, you guys, I was clean, and you're like, oh, let me see the paint again. And now look, I was so almost clean.
She had gloves and everything.
I know, look. Oh, man.
I reckon they did that on purpose.
Probably. Okay,
Awesome.
well, if you have any questions, you guys put them in. Mitchell will answer you, most likely, because I won't. Only I love you.
But I just won't answer you.
We love you. We hope you enjoyed it. Mitchell, do your little sign off.
Yes, so you know, you can always watch the video back. Again, we'll be in
Guys,
the
if you're
Facebook
not
Live group.
subscribed to Mitchell, please subscribe to Rain and Pores. Subscribe.
Yes, and to Lisa as well. Lisa Marvin Art on all the socials. And yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it does help, especially with the YouTube algorithm, helps other people find us. And obviously, the more people find us, the more we can do for you. So if you guys really liked what we did today, let us know any other videos that you'd like to see us work on together. We always have a blast and have a good time. There's so much more about color theory that we can delve into. And so we did plan a little bit of a series. So yeah, we'll try and schedule that in the near future and dive a little bit deeper.
Love you guys.
All right. Love you all. See you soon.
Bye.